Good morning. Welcome back to That'll Do Garage and yet another episode of Morning Garage Confessional, where I pour out my heart and you guys laugh at my misery. It's not that bad, I'm exaggerating, but I just wanted to share with you guys a couple things. The first thing, some news from Ford came out about the Bronco Raptor. That's pretty sweet. I want to share that with you. I found a couple new features on the Ford website that I found helpful, so you guys might like it too. Also, I want to tell you about the process so far, because I'm getting some questions from folks about, like, what the heck is this reservation thing all about? And what's going on with you? I ordered my Bronco like 6 months ago and it was fine. So I think we'll start with that. Okay, my understanding of the process from reading and talking to people is that Ford said, hey, we're gonna make this Bronco. It's pretty sweet. Go ahead and throw $100 down for a reservation, and that reservation will give you a time stamp. And what that does is it puts you in line, basically. It determines the build priority for your Bronco. And beyond that, there's the ordering process. And in our recent video with the dealership, we learned that there's two ways to order. The first way is, hey, Mr. Dealership, here's what I want. And they grab a piece of paper and write it down. And they say, okay, thanks, I got your order. That's the first way. The second way is when the dealership actually puts your order into the system with Ford. And then Ford kicks out an email that says, hey, thanks for your order, you know, everything's gonna be great. And then so X amount of time later, you get a VIN number, and then you get a build date, and then your Bronco shows up, right? That's how it's supposed to work. And so that's some of the confusion. Some people say they ordered their Bronco, but maybe they didn't get that confirmation from Ford yet, and maybe the dealership is just holding on to their order. That's one thing. The second thing is, I know, like, I see the comments on the YouTube videos and on the Bronco websites, the resources, that people are walking into the dealership now or any time in the last 6 weeks and saying, hey, I've never heard of a Bronco before, but that looks pretty cool and I want one. Here's some money. And the dealership takes it and the dealership puts it into Ford's system. And then their order is in and they get the email, right? So it seems legit. Well, sure, that it's not a build date. They're still gonna have to wait. And theoretically, their timestamp, you know, is like August, whereas my timestamp is in March because I reserved in March. Still haven't ordered. That's my understanding, okay? So some people go on the website and say, hey, I like these Broncos, I want to order one, and they put in their info, they pay $100. The next day, their local Ford dealership calls them and they say, hey, I saw you put in an order, you know, let's go ahead and get that solidified, right? And that sounds great. I totally believe that's happening. Now let me tell you about my experience. I put in my reservation in March. Never heard a thing. I got an email from Ford the same day that was basically a receipt. And the dealership never called me. I called the dealership after several months saying, hey, what the heck? I put in an order, you know, 3 months ago. I got my reservation timestamp. Are you guys gonna call me? Like, what happens next? And they're like, oh, yeah, oh, great to hear from you. Come on in, we'll get your check card and take your money down and we'll place your order. And so that's where my video in June comes from. I reserved in March, eventually made an appointment with the dealership to go in and put in my order. And I go in and I place my order, and the dude putting in the order is talking about a 2021, and I definitely want a 2022 Bronco. Basically, 100% because I want the manual transmission and the Sasquatch package, which is not available in the 21. So I knew right away I need a 22. Okay, I'm not in a hurry. I don't need to get in the front of the line. I got a reservation time stamp. I want to get a 22 anyway. So I've been a little bit dragging my feet. Like, I don't need to rush to the dealership for them to order a 21. I don't even want a 21. So that's been what's going on in my world. So then Ford says, okay, here's the deal. You're going to be able to order a 22 on September 13th. The dealership calls me a week beforehand. Hey, did you hear you'll be able to order one on September 13th? I said, yes, I did. Let's do it, right? So we make an appointment. And then the dealership calls me 30 minutes before my appointment and they say, oh, bad news. We still can't order a 22. And I'm just super mad at this point, because this is like my second attempt. I tried to order it in June, and then I tried to order it on September 13th. Nope, hosed. Okay, so this is where the story gets interesting. A couple days go by, and I'm thinking, I'm watching people order Broncos now. Like, on all these websites, they say, I didn't even know about a Bronco, and then I walk into the dealership and I think, oh, that's cool, I want a Bronco. And 3 days later, I've got a confirmation email from Ford that my order has been entered. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is exhausting, so I just want that. I just want some forward progress. So I call my dealer and I'm like, hey, I know I want a 22, but let's go ahead and put in an order for a 21 because I want that order. I'm going to spend 50 grand with Ford and your dealership. I just want something tangible to say, here's my place in line. This is working. This is happening. It's not just pie in the sky. And the guy's like, okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay, cool. Send me a list of what you want. And I'm like, okay, that's a super not efficient way to do it. But I email him a list of all the features and options I want. It's like 40 or 50 things, right? The color, the transmission, everything. And he says, okay, thanks. And then another day goes by and he calls me back and he's like, hey, I talked to the new car sales manager and he thinks it would be best if we just don't put in your order now. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? He goes, yeah, well, we have a pile of about 50 2021 Bronco orders that are all going to have to be canceled and turned into a 22 order. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, so we don't want to put in the time to order you a 21 when we know we're going to have to cancel it. Like, so we're talking about maybe an hour here. Like, you can't sit on the website and plunk in some numbers just to give me a peace of mind email from Ford. I mean, that's basically it. He goes, yeah, we don't want to waste everyone's time. So I'm flipping out by this point. I'm like, I am never going to be able to order a Bronco. And I wait a couple days and I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I'm reading and I'm talking to people. And so that's where we're at. He has said, we don't want to order your Bronco right now because we know we're just going to have to cancel it. And I even asked him, I'm like, what do you mean cancel? Don't you mean like convert? Like switch a 21 order to a 22 order? And he's like, no, according to my new car manager, we have to cancel all of those orders and re-enter them as a 22. I'm like, that makes no sense at all. Everybody's going to lose their priority then. And he said, yeah, that's my understanding. Everybody's in the same bucket as soon as the 2022 banks open up. And I'm like, no flippin' way. That directly contradicts everything I'm reading. I said, do you realize that he's like misinformed? And the dealer guy is like, well, the truth is nobody really knows. Even the websites you're reading don't know. Like, nobody knows what Ford is going to do. Like, this doesn't make any sense. He goes, yeah, I put in an order for a Super Duty in May and I got the VIN number and it means nothing. Like, I still don't have a build date or whatever. Like, I don't freaking care at this point. I just want a VIN number. I want a promise date, even if it's wrong. I want to order confirmation from Ford. I want something because I reserved in March. Other folks reserved like a year and a half ago. And he's telling me that come the opening day of the 2022 order banks, everything's erased, everything's wiped out, nobody's first, nobody's in line, and it all starts over. I'm like, I don't believe that. I just straight up think he's wrong. I think his new car manager is wrong. I don't believe that. I've read it on so many Ford websites, you know, that says your reservation timestamp is what determines your order in line. And then after that, you know, we go down the list of reservations and we say, which can we build? Oh, this guy, he wants a 2.7, a Sasquatch, and a trailer tow, and all of those things are hard to get, so we can't build his. And they go to the next one, and he wants a soft top and a 4-cylinder, you know, and he's much easier to build. So we'll build his first, based on the reservation timestamp. That makes sense to me. That seems like something that in today's world would work, right? Can you imagine if Ford just said, nah, forget about that whole reservation thing. That's all in the garbage. We're just going to start over. That's preposterous. There's no way that's happening. So, lesson number 1. Don't believe everything you see/read/hear. Now, I still don't know what the truth is, but that's what feels right to me. I 100% believe my Bronco dealer is wrong. And I'm going to show you a couple websites here in a minute that sort of reinforces that. But so here I sit, I reserved in March, still don't have a pending Bronco order. And my lovely wife, who I rant all of this stuff to, and she's the best because she's, you know, okay with me ordering a Bronco, looked at me and said, if the reservations don't matter, why don't you just order another one at a different dealership? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Why don't I do that? That would make way more sense. So I'm considering doing that. I'm considering calling up a different dealership and saying, hey, I'm Joe Schmo. I'm just starting today. I want a Bronco. And I bet you they'll put in my order for a 21. It'll be in the order banks. It won't be a legit order, and that's okay. But I bet you they'd get me a confirmation email. And then, truthfully, if my dealership is right and my reservation is worthless, then I have no reason to stay with them because they've given me terrible service and they don't even want to put an hour into giving me peace of mind. If my dealership is wrong, then I would lose my place in line. You know, my advantage of reserving in March. So I'm really thinking it through. I haven't decided yet what to do, but anyway, I just wanted to share that update with you guys. We're getting a lot of comments about why are you ranting and raving about reservations and how are these ordering, you know, how does this ordering thing work? What the heck? I ordered mine in 20 minutes. You know, I don't know why this is going so badly for me. Why didn't my dealership call me after I put in the order like everybody else? It's just amazing. Anyway, I want to show you some cool stuff that came out recently on the website and some things that help me sleep at night. Let's check that out. Okay, well, the first thing I want to show you is got an email from Ford Monday. I think it was Monday. And they said, hey, just to thank you for sticking with us on this journey, here's a sneak peek at the Raptor. So check this out. Hopefully you'll be able to get the audio. Note that it's 17 seconds, right? Okay, so literally all that shows you is it's a Bronco, it's got a Raptor grille, and it's coming in 2022. Wow. Thanks for the sneak peek, Ford. Really taught me a lot. Anyway, can you tell I'm bitter? I was poking around and I found this, which is on Car and Driver. And this is just a guess, right? It's just Car and Driver's estimation of what it's going to look like. But I thought this looks pretty sweet. I mean, according to this image, it does have 37-inch tires. And it has the Ford grille. And I think they said something like wider fenders. Yeah, wider track. and it's expected to use the twin turbo V6 from the F-150. But I think that thing looks awesome. I would totally be on board with getting that if it wasn't for a 2023 model and starting in the mid 60s range. That means it's going to be, I don't know, 70, 75 when you put a couple options on it. Anywho, so I love that stuff too. That's cool, but I'm not going to do it. Sorry. So the other thing I ran into is this. Where was I? I think I was on the Build and Price website, and I found a little hyperlink to a Bronco accessories, page. I'll put this link in the description, but basically, this is showing 234 items that are options on the Bronco. So I did play with all this stuff, and a lot of it looks really cool. The main reason I like it is there was some stuff in the Build and Price that I felt like was options I really wanted, but they're not available on the such and such version. Like for example, the rock rails. Let's see if I can find them. They're not available on the Big Bend, and I think they're only available on the Wild Track. But if you just come here to this website and buy them, like now they're available, and you bolt them on yourself. Yeah, here it is, rock rails for 4-door. So $600, and you just buy them. Like I don't need to get them directly from Ford, so that's pretty sweet. And I will probably do that because I like these rock rails a lot. They're designed to handle 1.5 times vehicle weight. I'm pretty confident that these would be bolted on instead of, like the trail armor thing that goes right here. It's put on with sticky tape, basically, which I'll probably get that too. But anyway, I thought this was cool. And then I was looking at the sound bar because I do want to get the sound bar. And the pictures kind of aren't awesome. I wanted to see what it looks like. So I just grabbed the Ford part number like this, popped it into Google, and it gets you some more information. And mainly what I wanted to see was what does it look like in the Bronco? Because it kind of looks like it's going to obscure the rear view, out the window. But I don't know. You can kind of play around with it and see what it's going to look like. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but yeah, it kind of obscures the window. Okay, but if it sounds great, maybe I'm okay with that. You got like 3 inches here between the sound bar and the spare tire. That should be fine. That's all you need. Yeah, so that's the other thing I wanted to show you. And then the last thing I want to show you, and this is what I've referenced, helps me sleep at night. I came across this, and this is pretty recently updated, right? Like it's got stuff about the Raptor on here, which was just announced, I think, on Monday. So, so this is quasi legit information. It's directly from Ford. It's not some dealership. It's not some Yahoo on YouTube like me. And check this out. More details, blah, blah, blah. As a reminder, your reservation timestamp will remain with your order for scheduling priority in 21. So therefore, scheduling priority is determined by your reservation timestamp, which makes me think I need to keep my reservation. I need to stick with my dealership. The other thing that it says it here as well, when they're talking about the delivery, the reservation timestamp affects your place in line for production build. Also, they tell you directly right here which items are constrained and will result in longer wait times. Hardtop, which of course I want. Wild Track, I do want, but I'm not going to pay for it. Sasquatch, I want. 2.7 would be nice, but not for an extra $1,800. I'll stick with the 4-cylinder. And I do want the trailer tow and the safari bar, which in other places is called a brush bar. I think it's called a brush bar. So anyway, I'm probably hosed on my demand, but at least I have a decent timestamp being back in March. There's a lot of good information here. I would really suggest you guys cruise through here. There's stuff about pricing protection. If you had your order in by March 19th, which I did not, your
would be protected, which probably also means I'll get hosed. But anyway, such is life. And then there was somewhere about, I swear there was a thing about 2021 to 2022. But anyway, I feel like I should send this to my Bronco dealership, huh? Yes, you can change your order up until it's scheduled for production. Your timestamp will remain the same, but whatever you add or subtract will change the speed it can be built and delivered. Anyway, so there's lots of good info here. Check it out. Let me know in the comments, what's your Bronco experience been like? What questions do you guys have? What are you running into? Are you as emotionally invested and drained and hopeless as me? I don't know. I'm still going to wait. I still love the thing. I still want it. I'm just going to wait. It sucks.
Well, hey, I hope you like that stuff. I think that Raptor looks amazing. I really feel like the 37s look substantially bigger than the 35s, and I would totally do the Raptor thing if it wasn't going to automatically add like 15 grand and another year to this drama fest. Anyway, I hope your Bronco experience is going better than mine, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you around.